artists, how about a 2021 challenge? Let's paint more than we've ever painted before. Set 2 to 3 goals for ourselves, write them down and post them somewhere where we can see them, and hold ourselves accountable. To get things started, I'm hosting a small challenge for January, the 25 Stroke Painting Challenge. Your entries are valid until the last day of January, where I'll choose one winner. The winner will receive one free lesson from my new monthly courses, Unlocking Color Secrets. Even if you don't want to enter the competition publicly, I encourage you to go ahead and watch the video. I think it will help you in your understanding that there's a purpose to every brushstroke. Can't wait to see your paintings. This should help you to develop those skills in trying to come up with lots of great brushstrokes, varied brushstrokes, and to kind of help you be more methodical on how and where you are going to lay those strokes. So they're not going to end up being just randomly, haphazardly placed. So it's a great skill set for that. So we're going to do this together. So I went ahead and wrote out numbers that I can mark off because inevitably I will probably forget what number we're on. But I already have laid out our underpainting. So I just used 3 colors. I used transparent oxide orange for the background. I used magenta for the shadowed areas of the pear. And within that shadowed area, you can still see more value. So in the areas that were darker, I went back over with straight transparent paint and no medium. The rest of this is paint with medium. So this in here is transparent oxide orange. That's for the lighter values of the pear. And then I used a magenta with ultramarine blue mixed in where it's darker for the surface. And then underneath the pear where that darkest shadow is, I just placed some straight ultramarine blue. Okay, so this was just a very quick minute or two just placing down an undercolor so that we can come in and be able to very strategically place our brush strokes. So your brush strokes can be super long or they can be really short, but they do need to be thought through so that you can fill up your painting with just 25 strokes. So let's begin. So I'm going to start off by mixing up kind of a mid-tone green. So I'm mixing up some sap green and some cadmium yellow deep with a little bit of alizarin crimson just to get a nice mid-tone neutral green. Okay, and this one's leaning a little more neutral, a little more towards the dark side. I'm going to make sure I've got plenty of paint loaded up on the brush so I can be strategic with these strokes. So here's stroke number 1. Okay, so we're going to come around, leaving a little area here for the highlight. Notice that I'm twisting and pulling the brush around. All right, so there's stroke number 1. Make sure you've got your paper towels handy so you can wipe your brush off in between those strokes. Keep a nice clean brush so we can have a nice clean painting. All right, so let's go ahead and use that same color. Scooping up plenty of paint, looking to see where else I can place this color. All right, so we think about it and then we spontaneously place this color in. So this area in here is not quite as dark. Let me really think this through here. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and do this. This gradually comes down. So there's stroke number 2. And now I'm going to lighten this green up and I'm going to cool it down. So I'm actually adding into that same mixture some Caribbean blue, and a little bit of ice blue. Caribbean blue and a little ice blue. Okay, so I'm going a little bit lighter, but a little bit cooler. So that is sap green with Cad Yellow Deep and a little bit of alizarin crimson. So I'm just having to remix my pile here. Adding in Caribbean blue and a tiny bit of ice blue. Okay, loading up my paint, making sure I've got plenty of paint. And we'll go ahead and lay, oops, I didn't mark them off, so we're down to number 23. Remember to mark those off, otherwise I will forget. All right, so this is going to be stroke number 23. We're actually counting down backwards. Okay, so that's stroke 23. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe the brush off. I'm going to get some highlights in there. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse. And I'm using a 28. So I'm using the larger of the brush between the 18 and the 28, just so we can cover more ground with a larger brush. Even though we have a small painting here, you can still use a larger brush. So this is just on a 6x6 piece of oil paper, and I just taped it to a piece of cardboard. Doesn't have to be anything expensive, just a cheap canvas board or oil paper. Just something that you can practice on. All right, so we're going to go with a lighter value. So you want to make sure you've got plenty of paint out on your palette. So I'm picking up sap green, going a little bit lighter, coming in with Cad Yellow Deep, mixing up a lighter value, scooping up plenty of paint. All right, being strategic about this. So we're going to place this one right in through here. And we didn't mark off 23, so there's 23, that's 22. Stroke number 22. Counting down backwards. So I'm rinsing out the brush, and we're going to come back in with a lighter value. Actually, let's use that same color. I think we can kind of pop that down here on the bottom. I'm picking up that same sap green with Cad Yellow Deep, loading plenty of paint on that brush. And we're going to start right in through here. I'm going to actually overlap some of what we've done and pull it around the bottom. So that was stroke 21. Crossing that one off. Okay, as we come down to this portion in here, it gets more yellow. Let's use some Cad Yellow Medium with a little bit of sap green. Cad Yellow Medium with a little bit of sap green, and we need to tone it down a little bit, so I'm going to add into that mix some transparent yellow oxide. So Cad Yellow Medium, transparent yellow oxide with a little bit of sap green, loading plenty of paint. So we are on stroke number 20. Okay, so there's stroke number 20. Notice your strokes don't all have to be just short little marks. Looking to see if we can use that same color anywhere else. So if we look over to the right of the pear, there's a similar color but darker. So I'm going to try adding in some transparent oxide orange to that mixture we just created. Pulling in some transparent oxide orange. So that's pulling it into the Cad Yellow Medium with a little bit of sap green. transparent oxide yellow, and now we're pulling in transparent oxide orange. So I'm looking over here where the color is not as dark as this portion here, and not quite as light as this. So we're coming a little bit in between. So this is stroke number 19. We need to go back and mark off 20. We didn't do that. Okay, and you can allow that color to kind of mix and blend in. See, I even have these numbers here, and I'm already forgetting what number we're on. I think we're still on, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think we're good. If we missed one, that's okay. Not about perfection. Okay, so we've got kind of some cool dark foresty greens in here. So I am going to take some sap green with a little ultramarine blue, sap green, ultramarine blue. Okay, and we're going to lighten it up with a little bit of, let's go ahead and use white, just a little bit, mixing up a nice amount here. All right, let's see what we got. So we're on stroke number 19. So I'm not going for my lightest colors. I think I need to lighten that up a little bit more though. I'm going to pull in a little more white. Let's see what we've got. So the very top here, we're going to kind of go around the stem. I'm going to place that stem back in over the top and come down ever so slightly. So that was number 19. And I think I can still use the same color. Down here at the very bottom. So this is number 18. It's challenging. All right, we get a little darker down in here. So I'm going to come back to this color. So that was sap green with a little bit of cad yellow deep. Sap green, a little bit of cad yellow deep. And if you don't get exactly the same color, don't worry about it. Just getting something close here. We want variety. All right, got to mark off 18. So now we're on number 17. So this stroke, let's just place it right in through here. So that was 17. 16 strokes to go. What do we want to do here? All right, let's put this color in here. So that is similar to what we have here, but I'm going to change it up just a little bit by adding in, it kind of goes a little warm. Let's add a little tiny bit of cad red light. A little bit of cad red light. And that is going into our cad yellow medium. So cad yellow medium, a little sap green, transparent oxide yellow, and transparent oxide orange. Okay, so we're just warming it up a little bit more with that cad red light. Plenty of paint on your brush. Okay, so this is number 16, coming in right through here. And while we're at it, that's 16. Now we're going to do 15. Just going to reload that same color. Right in through here. Going a little bigger and smaller. Okay, let's go ahead and do some of our background. So we can pick any color for this. I'm going to do something fairly light back here. So I think what we'll do is use so many choices. Let's do some brilliant pink light. And I'm going to go a little more pink with this. I'm going to add in some transparent red medium. So we're going kind of a mid-pink tone. Loading plenty of paint onto the brush. Okay, so we're on stroke number 15. All right, let's start over here. We're going to go work our way around the stem. Look at that. We did almost that entire background with one stroke. Okay, I'm rinsing because I picked up some of that undercolor, that base color down here. And I'm going to pick up the same pink color we just mixed. Loading up the brush, marking off 15, so now we're doing 14. I'm going to mix up a little more paint, make sure we've got plenty of paint here. Nice big pile of pink. Loading that brush up. Okay, so this is stroke number 14. Let's do this. Okay, so we're kind of working our way around the pear. So there's stroke 14. Rinsing. Let's go ahead and do our surface area. I think what I want to do, trying to decide, going back and forth between the shadow and the surface. I think we'll save that shadow. I'm going to go ahead and do this area here first. So I need to really rinse out that brush good because we're going to change to ultramarine blue and white. So I'm picking up lots of white with just a little bit of ultramarine blue, mixing it thoroughly, picking up lots of paint, scooping that paint up, nice bead of paint on the tip of the brush. And we're going to come in from this side. Let's do and as we move to this side, it does get darker because it's pulling in some of those purples, which I'm good with. Giving us some nice variety. So that was stroke number 13. Let's mark that one off. And we're down to stroke number 12. So let's go ahead and put this one in. So that's going to be a darker version. I don't necessarily want to cover all of this. But what I'm going to do is grab a bunch of ultramarine blue with just a hint of white. So we have a nice dark blue, ultramarine blue with a hint of white. We're coming in right along the same, on the edge of the surface. Go ahead and mark that one. So that was number 12. So I feel like I could have done a wider stroke there to kind of pull that through, but we'll save it. We might be able to come back and fix things. So let's see what we've got left here. Got the stem. Let's go ahead and put that stem in. So I'm going to rinse out the brush, rinsing it in my solvent, pulling it through the paper towel, and we're going to pick up a nice, we'll start with a darker tone first. So let's do some transparent oxide orange with some Winsor violet. Get a nice dark brown. We can highlight it later. All right, let's see if we can do this in one stroke. We're going to start here. Get that end lip, come down onto the pear and over. So that was number 11. Okay, stroke number 10. I feel like we can highlight the stem. So I am going to use some Cad Red Light. Nice bead of Cad Red Light. And we're going to pop that in right here. So this is going to be stroke number 10. Right on the edge there. Rinsing out that brush. Trying to use my strokes wisely. Did we mark that one? I don't think we did. 10. All right. We're going to put in another light right in here. there's some color that's bouncing off the wall onto here and creating, even though our light source is coming from the left, we've got this little spotlight here. So I'm going to use kind of a pinkish orange. So we're going to take some transparent red medium with a little bit of white and a little bit of cad orange. So transparent medium, a little white, and cad orange. Okay, we're going to pop that in right here. So this is going to be stroke number 9. All right, mark off 9. And I feel like I'm going to use that same color so we can kind of bounce that around a little bit. So we're going to start pulling this together a little bit. So we're number 8. So I'm going to just come right over the top of this pair here. So this is 8. Mark off number 8. Okay, so we've got plenty of strokes left to kind of tie things together a little bit. So I've got to be strategic. So we've got a little bit of highlighting that we need to place in here. So I think we'll go with some cooler blue tones for those highlights. So let's get rid of that orange pink color that's in the brush, rinsing and cleaning it thoroughly. So I'm going to go ahead and use some Caribbean blue and white now. Caribbean blue with some white. Keep in mind, this is just a fun exercise, so your colors really don't have to be true. Just have fun with it. Okay, we're just distinguishing planes and values. And when you're doing this, you really don't have a chance to actually test your color first, since you're only allowed a few strokes. So, not to worry. All right, so Caribbean blue and white, we're going to come in with some highlights. So right in through here, let's start here and kind of pull that down. This is stroke number 7. We're coming around the side here. And let's just make that a continuous stroke and carry that back up. Okay, so that was number 7. Okay, let's put some blue tones here, only darker values. So now we're going to take ultramarine blue with just a little bit of white, mixing it up really well. Coming in to some of those darker values in here. So this is stroke number 6. Let's mark that one off, stroke number 6. All right, so we've got 5 strokes left. So we need to use these wisely. So we've got 5 strokes left. So what is most important here? I think we need to kind of blend a couple of these spots together, but this also is too orange for me, so I'm going to go back over that with some green tone. So I'm just going to pick up one of those lighter green tones. This one had sap with a little bit of transparent oxide, or let's see, sap green, yeah, a little transparent oxide yellow, and cad yellow deep. All right, so we're going to use stroke number 5, and I'm going to fix this and this. Just kind of letting it blend in. Didn't really like those. So that was 5 and 4. Woo, 3 strokes left. Challenging. Okay, I really want to fix this shadow down here. So what I'm going to do is get some ultramarine blue with just a tad bit of white. So this is stroke number 3. I'm going to take this and kind of pull it out. Stroke number 2, I think I'm going to use a dry brush. Ooh, this is tricky because I want to fix a couple of things, but I've only got 2 strokes left, and I've got to mark off number 3. There we go. 2 strokes left. All right. What is most important here? What do we want to do? I think I'm going to kind of blend this one. All right, so let's go for it. Number 2. drying off the brush. I'm going to go ahead and rinse and clean. And then I'm just going to fix this edge here, and then we're going to have to call it done. Let's see. Is that what I want to do there? Let's go for it. All right, so this is our, mark this one off. This is going to be our last stroke. Got to make it count. Still deciding. All right, we're just going to take this edge here, and we're going to soften what we've got all the way down. And we'll call it done. That's 25 strokes. So great challenge on using those brush strokes to their highest advantage and making the most of those and really focusing on each stroke that you're taking and making it count. So hope you had fun with that. Love to see your results on Facebook.